Good evening, sim racing fans, and welcome to Kentucky Speedway. The sun is setting on what is going to be an awesome night as the chase is now underway in the Sim500 Kickass Beef Jerky Winter Series live right here on the Sim Racing Network. So glad you've tuned in to join us alongside Don Runkle. Tonight I am Ben Kilcrease and Aaron Grosskopf, and I'm going to be getting a picture that you see to you. And here we go, Don. It's race number 11. The chase is now underway, or it will begin once we drop the green flag tonight. 8 drivers coming into tonight. We'll talk about those 8 drivers here shortly. But here we go. I mean, this is the moment for them. They've got to be on their tippy toes over the next 3 races if they want to walk out of this deal with a championship.
Yeah, they definitely have to be cautious about how they race the track and how they race each other tonight. Definitely those 8 drivers that are contending for the championship. Here at Kentucky, you can get some good close racing, but bad things can happen fast too.
Kentucky Motor Speedway, a mile and a half, we like to call it a cookie cutter. Not the same shape as Atlanta or Texas, but we'll see the same sort of racing from that Don over the course of the night as the run goes on. We'll see, maybe the cars start around the bottom of the racetrack, or maybe even up around the top or the middle, and kind of work the lanes all throughout the night. And that's really what makes these mile and a half so fun to watch here in the Kickass Winter Series. These drivers aren't afraid to search around for any extra grip.
No, and there's definitely room for extra grip here. These guys can have multiple lanes of racing tonight. Like you said, they can work the high side, the low side. We're going to be seeing, I think, lots of passing, and I think we're going to see some really exciting racing tonight.
Championship standings heading into tonight. Brandon Bowie sits top the points. Everybody is even at 1,000, so we'll just run through the drivers that are in the chase, I should say. Brendan Bowie, Chad Coleman, Dave Comstock, Trey Edson, Jason Jacoby, Nicholas Cohan, Larry Pace, and Nelson Rivera are the 8 drivers that are going to be competing for the championship. And, Don, if you're one of those 8, you've got to be conservative on one hand, but you've also got to go out there and race and try and get every position you can on the other.
It's a fine balance between points racing and when to be aggressive, and that's what these guys are going to be doing tonight. They're going to be trying to find that fine balance in between both. When to make the moves you need to make. Is it worth it? Later on, you got to be points racing. I mean, lots of different things can come into contention for these guys tonight.
Only 3 races, including this one, left in the season, and 3 in the chase here. So not a lot of room for error if you have a bad night, Don.
No, not a whole lot of room at all. 4 races isn't a lot of room for error. One bad race, get caught up in somebody else's wreck. I mean, it can definitely ruin your chance for the championship there, Ben.
So we'll keep an eye on everything over the course of tonight, all the drivers in the championship run, and we'll let you know as much as we can where everybody sits. A beautiful afternoon here at the Kentucky Speedway as we look at the Interstate Batteries weather at the track. It's currently 77 degrees. That's the air temperature. Track temperature the same, 77 degrees with winds north at 2 miles per hour. We'll see the air temperature drop a little bit once the sun dips below the horizon all the way. And that track temperature, though, we'll see it start to rise once we get more cars out on the racetrack. We thank you for tuning in tonight on the Sim Racing Network. Tonight's broadcast is part of SRN's Triple Thread Streaming. We're streaming live to our YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch, and no matter what platform you're watching on, we encourage you to give the video a like, subscribe, or follow, however you like to do the social media stuff out there, and be sure to chat with us. You'll see your chat messages come up during our corner-to-corner coverage when we head to commercial, so you never know, give a shout-out to your favorite driver, and they'll get to see it on the replay. But here we go, Don. Just about 30-plus cars registered to take the green flag here at Kentucky as a driver heading into tonight in that chase position. What's your strategy for this race? If you qualify, say, mid-pack, what do you try and do? Hang around a little bit, or you got to go for it? 138 laps tonight is the distance, by the way, so plenty of time to make some moves.
If I'm one of the drivers that's running for that championship and I'm in mid-pack, which would be a really good starting position for me if I was driving. But anyway, those guys, I honestly think you got to kind of feel how the momentum of this race is going to go, what the personality of this race is going to be. Sometimes you get races that are full of yellow. Sometimes you can get long green flags run. long green flag runs. And, and sometimes it's just the way the race works out. I think if you're in the middle, starting in the middle right there, and you're one of those chase drivers, I think you're just going to kind of feel the race out a little bit, maybe not to be too aggressive. See how it formulates, see how, it works out, see when different pit strategies work out and stuff. Like you said, it's a very long race. 138 laps, you got a long time to make different decisions and plan your race out ahead.
It's going to be a long story, and the first chapter is going to be the green flag, and that's coming up here shortly. And to bring you to that point, we'll run you through tonight's starting lineup presented by RacingBids.com. Larry Pace will lead us to the green flag in that 00. He is a championship contender. Alongside him, another championship contender. That's Brandon Bowie in the 88.
Starting in row number 2 on the inside is going to be Jason Jacoby in the 39 car, followed by Chad Coleman next to him in the number 20.
Anthony DeBar going to bring up the inside of row number 3 in the 27. To his outside, Trey Edson will be in the number 10.
Timothy Johnson will be on the inside in the number 28, and next to him will be Bobby Wetzel in the number 9.
Robert Gillenwater qualifies inside the top 10 in 9th, and Dwayne Vincent going to round out the top 10 as the rest of the starting field going to scroll across the bottom of your screen. Don, we'll see if we can't dial up a driver real quick before we drop the green flag. He sits second on the board right now, on the grid rather, and he is one of the chase drivers heading into this evening. Brandon Bowie, Ben Kilcrease, Don Runkle up in the SRM booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. Got you.
Here we go, Brandon. 138 laps, a long distance here at Kentucky, and you're starting almost in the best position possible. Strategy heading into a race like this, is it more of a points day, or are you going to go out and go for the win?
I think it's more of a points day right now. A win would be amazing, of course. But right now, just take it easy, take it one lap at a time, and kind of see how it all shuffles out.
Well, we'll let you get to that. Green flag coming up here shortly. We wish you the best of luck in today's race.
All right, thanks.
There you have it. Brandon Bowie done, set to go racing here in Kentucky. Says a win will be great, but top 5 will definitely help secure your chance at a championship once we get to the final race.
Oh, definitely. A win, hey, that gives you the most points. Of course, that'd be the best thing. But, he sounds like he's ready for a good race tonight. Sounds like he's ready to do some points racing. Sounds like he's pretty calm right before this storm is about to be unleashed.
And it is. The lights ticking on here at Kentucky Speedway, and we're getting set to go nighttime racing here on the Sim Racing Network. So glad you've tuned in, no matter where you're tuning in from, on our YouTube or Facebook or our Twitch. And to all those viewers out there on the iRacing Esports Network, we thank you for tuning in as well as we get set to go racing in race number 11 in the Kickass Beef Jerky Winter Series here in the Sim500 Esports Racing League. It'll be Larry Pace, Brandon Bowie, Jason Jacoby, Chad Coleman, and Anthony DeBarro, the top 5 as they get set to go racing. 138 laps on the board. Tonight, Pace car gets set to head down to pit road. They stack them up 2 by 2 by 2. It's time to go racing under the lights in the Bluegrass State.
And you can see the 00. He got one heck of a jump there on the start. Went way, just really rocketed there. Went to get to the high side there going into turn 1.
Looks like he almost tagged the grass down there. He got such a good jump, and maybe a little loose coming back up onto the track from the apron to the track surface there. We'll kind of watch that over the course of the night. Meanwhile, that 88 we just talked to him, Brandon Bowie right there in second. He closes up to the bumper of Larry Pace. A small battle for the 4th position. Going to make quick work of it as Anthony DeBarro, and that puts Chad Coleman under fire from the 10 of Trey Edson.
Yeah, you can see those guys battling back there. They're definitely jockeying for position early on. Lots of grip on these tires right now, early on in the run. So they're going to try to make the most out of this grip they possibly can early on in this run.
Edson going to get that position for the time being. Just behind them, Robert Gillenwater and Timothy Johnson going at it. That would have been the first side-by-side battle. Now the first side-by-side battle. We go back to Shane Ewing and Dwayne Vincent, and they're going to make quick work of that and get single-filed out and try and log some laps. A close call with the wall there for the 18 of Donnie Leah, but it didn't check up at all. He kept his foot in, and he closed right back up to the bumper of Johnson heading down into turn number 1. That'll be a battle for the 9th position, as we've got battles all over this racetrack from up front in the lead all the way back to the last cars.
That's what's great about these D-shaped ovals like this. You do have a lot of passing, a lot of guys be able to make different grooves work. You see the guys moving around a lot. Some guys are in the middle turns. Some guys are kind of working that high line. But I think we're going to see lots of different lanes come into a play here tonight.
3 wide with Callan Tony and Nelson Rivera in the 22. Mid-pack or right around that 18th position as we got a gaggle of cars back here. It's one thing to watch the lead early on, Don, but I like watching the battles all throughout the field. Everybody trying to get into their positions that they're comfortable riding in. Everybody using up the best of the tires in the early parts of these runs. And the 25 of Chambliss there gets the apron over in 3 and 4. Really had to chase that car off the turn.
That's another thing. You'll see these guys, a lot of these guys will drop down below that yellow line here on the tri-oval, kind of get down to the apron a little bit. That'll probably get a little bit more loose. Make the car a little bit more loose as the run goes on.
Chambliss pushes up again.
Yeah.
Almost tagged the door of Mike Kelly there.
I saw that.
Going to skirt by. He brings the 42 of Comstock with him. Now Comstock qualified 27. Did not qualify, I'm sorry. He started at the back and has started to work his way through the field. So Comstock, one of the favorites here this all season long. He's real good behind the wheel of that number 42, especially on these 1.5 miles, and he might have gave Mike Kelly a shot going into one there as they battle for the 20th position. And back up front, Don, not a lot going on. It's still Larry Pace leading Brendan Bowie and Jason Jacoby, but those top three all tail to nose as we work lap number 6 of 138 here at Kentucky.
Yeah, they're pretty spread out up there. The leaders, you can see there's a lot of room between those guys. It doesn't really get pretty crowded until you get a little further back in the field, like you were saying, where some of the side-by-side action is going on. The leaders pretty much got it sorted out. You see a lot of side-by-side action right now. I'm looking at the 22, trying to look in on that 41 car there of E.J. O'Rourke. And further back, you can see a lot of guys going side-by-side, making that low line work.
Yeah, still from about around that 20th position with Mike Kelly and Doug Roth there battling it out. That'll be for the 19th position, but those guys all still trying to get sorted out, trying to get into a rhythm early on here at Kentucky, and that's
Comstock making it 3 wide there.
Yeah, big move there for Comstock as he gets tight going down into turn 1. Everybody kind of wants to accordion into one line there, and Comstock really going for it. And look how tight they get off of turn number 2. Now, mind you, this isn't for a spot inside the top 5. This is P19 they're racing for this early on.
Yeah, on lap 8, P19, these guys 3 wide, battling for position. Comstock, I think he kind of felt like those two guys might have been holding him up, so he made it 3 wide there, and he made it work. It was a little tight, but he definitely made it work. And Comstock, he's definitely aware of the other cars around him. He's a great racer, and he can make power moves like that. It definitely tells the rest of the field something, even those guys in the back.
Not sure the story on Comstock, but didn't get a lap of practice, nor did he get a lap of qualifying, and already worked his way up to 18th position from the 27th starting position. Has that number 42 of Comstock, and it's really fun to watch Comstock as we're on board with him, and we'll keep an eye on him over the course of this race. It's fun to watch him work his way up through the field. If he has a bad qualifying effort or doesn't make qualifying, he always puts on a show working his way through the field.
Yeah, those guys in front of him, they see him in the rearview mirror, and they know he's coming. So those guys in front of him, Nelson Rivera and, Anthony Calatoni and E.J. O'Rourke, they know he's coming, and they're battling themselves right there.
That they are. Up front, we've had a change for position for the second spot. Jason Jacoby in that number 39 was able to get around the 88 of Bowie, and now Jacoby has his sights set on that Sim500 Camaro of Larry Pace there, the 00 boy. Don, both you and I can relate to Larry Pace right now, making the 00 look good early on.
He's definitely making it look better than I ever did. I can tell you that right now. He's got that thing up front. Some of you guys don't know, we both run, me and Ben both run 00 in different races and different leagues or whatever. So we all kind of feel a little kin. Seeing that 00 up front makes us both feel good.
Certainly does. And Pace, I hate to say it, though, he might not be up front for long because Jason Jacoby has really started to close that gap over the past couple laps. He's cut into the lead that Pace has built up, and we work lap 12, closing in on the 1/10th mark of this race. And Jason Jacoby is one of those drivers that really likes to go for it, and even though he goes for it a lot, Don, it looks like he's wearing his stuff out. He really is a master at saving tires, and he's real good on the long runs as well.
Yeah, we were, talking about before the race the fine balance between aggressive driving and points racing, and there's also a fine balance with being fast and saving those tires. And Jason Jacoby seems to have that down pat. Seen him in a lot of races in the past, and he definitely can take care of his stuff, but at the same time, be right in the position that he's in right now. And, was in third, worked his way up to second, and now he's giving some heat to Larry Pace there, the leader.
So we'll keep an eye on this battle as Pace does stretch it out just a little bit there, about a tenth that lap. That could have been from a small mistake from Jacoby, Don. It really only takes just one mistake, maybe driving in an extra 100 feet too deep into turn 1 or turn 3, and it really could, screw your whole lap up. Take, a tenth or so off of your lap time, and that could have been what caused the fall off for Jacoby there. But even off of turn 4, looks like he's losing more time to that 00 as he's being caught again by the 88 of Brandon Bowie. Bowie doing everything he can to get back to the rear bumper of Jason Jacoby. Maybe Larry Pace was just playing with him a little bit there, saying, you know what, reel me in, and then I'm going to cool my tires off and kind of make another run at it.
Yeah, he's got his namesake there. He's running the pace of the race there, and I think he might be doing that. I mean, Jason also had to fight his way up there to get to second. He might have used his tires up just a little bit more than, he thought. And, Brandon's definitely seems to be reeling him in. I mean, that gap between first and second has been noticeably getting bigger.
So he cuts into it again there, but not a lot. So we'll keep watching this top 3 battle over the course of this run, and I can assume we'll continue to see the accordion effect between the 3 of them. DeBarro sits pretty lonely there in the 4th spot. He's got Trey Edson, though, and at number 10, slowly but surely starting to reel that 27 to the front bumper of that number 10 Camaro. Behind them, it's Chad Coleman, and now the first caution of the race here at Kentucky Motor Speedway, race number 11 in the Kickass Beef Jerky Winners Series. As we search around the racetrack, it looks like it'll be the number 33 of Tyler Young involved in this first incident, and we'll get the replay pulled up as Don, as we watch him down the backstretch and into turn 3, just looks like 2 drivers going for the same piece of real estate, and up and into the wall, the safer barrier, goes the 33 of Tyler Young. A pretty much single car incident there heading into 3.
Yeah, it looked like he caught the apron just a little bit. I'm watching the replay of mine. It looked like he got below that yellow line just a little bit, maybe getting a little too aggressive in the corner. Car got a little free on him, a little loose, and he just kind of gathered it back up and just couldn't really hang on to it, it looked like.
So Young involved in the first caution of the night on lap number 16, and pits are open for the leaders, and we have quite a few takers heading down onto the pit road, and I do believe we have everybody in the field coming down onto pit road. So that's
everybody's
all
going to scream for tires right now. These guys want tires, definitely, on a run like that. We've only done 16 laps, but still.
A mistake from Pace and Bowie, both slid through their pit boxes. That'll allow the 39 to gain some time on them. We'll see if it's going to be enough. Bowie, did he take right sides only?
I think he did.
Yeah, Bowie only on right side tires. Wow. That's a bold statement.
That is definitely a bold move right there. Yeah, I mean, especially being in front. I don't know. We'll have to see how that works out for him. I'm not really sure if that was the right strategy to call to make.
18-lap old tires on the left sides. We'll see how it shapes up for the driver of the number 88 when we come back just in time for the green flag. You're watching the Kickass Beef Jerky Winter Series live on the Sim Racing Network. We're going to go corner to corner with these commercials.
All right, Watson, let's analyze the chemicals in this cigarette smoke. Cadmium?
Check.
Formaldehyde?
Check.
Arsenic?
Sir, isn't arsenic what they used in rat poison?
Yeah. Isn't arsenic what they used in rat poison?
Oh, what was I thinking, sir? It's not like we're gonna smoke them.
Neither will the rats.
Tobacco is no joke. Cigarette smoke has over 7,000 chemicals. Learn more at thefactsnow.com.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Welcome back. Set for the first restart of the night. Brandon Bowie on right side tires. Everybody behind him on 4. Pace car to pit road, and we're back underway here at Kentucky Motor Speedway. Some checkups from about the 5th row back, but for the most part, everybody gets a good restart, and they race down into turn number 1. Bowie in control of the field.
Yeah, we were talking during the break, seeing Bowie take those 2 tires, and weren't sure that's going to work out for him. We'll definitely have to see how that works for in the long run for him. He got a great restart there. He got a good jump, so we'll have to see if these guys are able to reel him in on those 4 tires.
We'll see what happens over the course of the run. Like you said, Trey Edson, a big mover there, came into pits around the 5th or 6th position, and now, as he scored at the line there, sits second for the driver of the number 10, but he's got a lot of pressure from the 39 of Jason Jacoby, and also some pressure from that 00 of Larry Pace, who was the early race leader, has led every lap up until this restart. Had to slip up on pit road there, Don, and we've seen already tonight, pit road mistake could end up costing you the race. And how about Jason Jacoby? He almost put the bumper to the 10 of Edson down in 3 and 4.
Yeah, he's definitely leaning on him, getting him a lot of pressure. He's looking to the inside right now. He's not afraid to use that bumper. He looked like he was almost bump drafting him there just a minute ago, which is not something that's really what you want to do here at Kentucky, but he's definitely making his presence known back there, and Trey's holding him off for right now.
We call him Mr. Excitement for a reason. He always likes to shake things up in that number 39, and he's doing just that here tonight as he's a little bit off the bumper now, that 10 machine. And how about Brendan Bowie out front on the right side tires? He only took 2 tires on that pit stop, had the lead on the restart there, and looking okay, at least for now, but it's still early in the run.
Yeah, right now he's up front, got a good lead, a few car lengths ahead of those guys, and he wants to see those guys back there battling. He actually wants to see those guys get side by side. He might be able to stretch that lead out a little bit, but so far he's holding his own on those 2 tires against those guys with the 4.
Let's check back through the field. The driver we were talking about didn't get any practice, didn't get any qualifying. It's the 42 of David Comstock. Don, he has now cracked the top 10 on this restart and looking for more as he's to the outside of Gillenwater down into turn number 1. That would be for the 9th position. If I'm anybody in the top 5, I'm starting to sweat a little bit because my spotter's telling me that Comstock's on the move.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, isn't it a surprise to anybody that Comstock has broken the top 10? I mean, I thought we were definitely going to see this tonight. He's been basically working his way up through the field. Like you said, no qualifying, no practice, and I don't think that really mattered. He just went on this track green, and he seems to be doing a great job right now. Like you said, started 27th, and right now he is sitting in 9th place.
Up to 9th as we're still well over 100 laps left to go in this one. 1:13. I do believe, if my math is correct. I wasn't in school today. They taught that, but nonetheless, Comstock is inside the top 10 within the first 25 laps of this race, which is very impressive after starting 27th. He is by far the biggest mover of the night. Another big mover, a couple cars up in front of him, the driver of the number 21. He started 14th. That's Nicholas Cohan. He's up to 7th.
Yeah, Nick Cohan's definitely trying to make his presence known. He's, definitely got to look out in every race. He's won a few races in Sim500, and he's definitely a guy that you want to look out for. And, he's been slowly making his way up and working his way into that, 7th place position right now.
One of the chase contenders, and, boy, that paint scheme puts a whole new meaning to having a target on your car.
And I think Nick kind of feels that way he kind of feels that way having a target on his car every now and then. Man, oh man, with my kind of luck, I wouldn't want to steer far away from putting
any other targets on my car, literally.
Any kind of mark or anything, definitely. I wouldn't
Yeah.
want that. I wouldn't want any kind of bullseye or nothing on my car.
Nonetheless, Cohan having a good run so far tonight, up to 7th from 14th. Just in front of him, Chad Coleman. He started 4th. He's fallen back a little bit, back to the 6th position. Ahead of him, Anthony DeBarro. He started 5th. He sits 5th right now in the number 27. He seems pretty confident right there, just inside the top 5. Pretty comfortable, I should say. And just in front of them, Jason Jacoby has pounded the wall and got quite a bit of damage on the right side of that machine.
Yeah, he hit that wall a good amount. Yeah, you can see on the right side of that car, the right front of that car, the fender's all crinkled up. It's probably going to affect his downforce here a little bit. And hopefully, sometimes when you hit the wall on the side like that, it can actually affect your motor a little bit too. I've seen that happen too. But seems to be keeping up his pace okay. But he'll probably get that fixed here. He'll probably get that fixed here soon in the next yellow we get, which hopefully won't be too soon.
Yeah, you never know with the Sim500 guys. We could have a yellow right around the corner, or we could go green the rest of the way. And I can guarantee you, one driver hoping we continue to go green as he is opening up that lead on 2 tires, albeit, is the 88 of Brandon Bowie. How about the run from this driver?
Yeah, we were really doubtful how those 2 tires were going to work for him. And, I guess he's showing us because right now, he's really gapped those guys. He's got such a good lead, and he's setting a heck of a pace right now on those 2 tires. Those guys back there, they just don't seem to be able to reel him in. Maybe he figured something out there.
Might have. I'd for sure already fed him to the Sharks before we even went back to racing, and so far, still early on in this run, but so far, Bowie holding his own on those right side tires. And just behind him, I think Larry Pace is ready to get back up to the front in that 00. He's now all over the rear bumper of the 10 of Trey Edson, and that's a good battle for the runner-up spot to the back straightaway. Look at Pace. He just gets a good run down the backstretch off of turn 2 and down into 3. He'll look to the inside of Trey Edson. This is the battle for second.
Yeah, he's looking on the inside right there. He's not quite got his nose in there. Can't quite get the momentum to be able to get his nose up in there to be able to maybe get up underneath Trey and, maybe take that lane away. But I think he's going to give it another shot here coming into this corner.
You saw down there in 3 and 4, Don, when he was below the 10. Edson put him almost down in the bumps. You saw that 00 really get bouncy down there and had to check up and really couldn't put the power down like he needed to really work that pass as he closes back up to the bumper of the 10, but he'll have to regroup and try again in a lap or so. That's Larry Pace challenging Trey Edson. That's for the second position. Behind them, we're kind of just looking through the field. The first side-by-side battle on the racetrack is between Bobby Wetzel in the 9 and Nelson Rivera in that number 22. Rivera moving up through the field. He started 18th and is now up to 10th.
Yeah, he's had a pretty good run tonight, making his way up there. And you can see these guys, like you said, they're really tight here. The 22, the 9, and the 28 there. They're all really kind of right on top of each other battling. They don't really have any more side-by-side battles going on at the moment, I don't think.
It's a product of Kentucky Speedway. Everybody gets spread out, and, especially early on in the race, no real reason to battle anybody too fiercely. Just get behind them and ride if you have to, Don, for a couple laps, and then once the tires start to wear, if they are starting to hold you up, then you can make your move. But for the most part, everybody seems to be pretty comfortable where they're sitting. And here comes Nelson Rivera looking to the inside of that number 4 of Robert Gillenwater. Close call there as they
really
get tied
close.
off turn 4. Rivera almost got into the left rear quarter panel of that number 4. Good run for Gillenwater tonight inside the top 10.
Yeah, good run for him. He started in the top 10. He's been able to maintain that, and like you said, Nelson Rivera is looking on the inside there. That last time he tried to pass, he got really close to that left rear fender there, and looked like he was going to get into him a little bit. That's the thing about trying to pass down low, is that you can get super tight passing down low. Push up the car will actually push up the racetrack a little bit, and you got to be careful pushing up to that guy up high next to you.
Absolutely, and even behind Gillenwater right now, it takes the air off the front of that 22 and really makes him tighter than what he would be in some cleaner air. That's why it's really hard to get a run on the
He's
driver
trying to get it
in
now.
front of him. Yeah, and he looks to the inside, just can't put the power down on the bottom like he needs to. Can't get the run off the corner that he needs to pull up alongside that number 4 of Gillenwater. So we'll watch this battle for the 9th position. Just in front of him, that's that 42 of David Comstock. He continues to try and march his way through the field. He's up to 8th, and in front of them, Cohan was having a small battle there with the Daytona winner in the Trans Service Cup Series back on Monday, Chad Coleman. Coleman sits 6th in tonight's event.
Yeah, he won that race in dominating fashion, and you can see Cohan right now. He's battling with him on the track, that Target 21 car. He's basically having the same issue as we were seeing back in 9th. You try to dive down low and just you can't get that downforce because that air from the back of the car in front of you is just not, it's kind of disturbing that air on the front of the car to create that downforce that you need when you go down low into the corner. So like we were saying, it's a challenge for these guys to try to make a pass here, especially later on in the runs.
Absolutely. Just had a change for the runner-up position. Larry Pace and Trey Edson had a tight moment off of turn number 4. Pace did everything but put the 10 in the wall. Kept it as clean as possible. No contact was made between the two, but it was a tight, close moment nonetheless. But Pace able to get up to the 2nd position, and he'll see if he can start reeling in that number 88 of Brandon Bowie. And already he's put about 5 car lengths on the 10 machine, just down in 1 and 2 alone, and he is closing that gap to the number 88 as we work down the back straightaway.
Yeah, this is what we were talking about before, about how it's going to affect those 2 tires that Brandon Bowie took, if it's going to affect him in the long run. And we might be seeing that right here. We might be seeing, Larry Pace being able to reel him in a little bit here since we're getting a little bit further on the longer run going on here. So I don't know. We'll have to see how it works out. We haven't seen anybody else take 2 tires. Brandon's the only one that has. So, other drivers might be looking at what he did here, and they might be thinking about doing that, maybe later on in the race if we get a late caution or, track position is really important here. You can see how hard it is to pass.
Absolutely. I say anything within 20 to go, and I'm only taking right side tires if it works that well.
Same
for Brandon Bowie. So we were just on board there with Larry Pace as he's trying to chase down the leader and Jason Jacoby. More problems in the 39, and caution is out. It wasn't for the 39s, for another machine on the racetrack. That'll be our 2nd caution of the night. Bobby Wetzel in the 9 car involved. And the cause as he just gets a little tired off of turn 4 there, pounds the wall, and man, Dwayne Vincent there in the 13, just an innocent bystander, really had nowhere to go but right into the driver's side door.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. It's just a bad situation, just wrong place in the wrong time for the 13 there. But yeah, Bobby pounded that wall coming off the corner there.
That's one of those, the tightness we were talking about, Don. As the run goes on, the tires start to wear out. You really have to wait. It seems an eternity when you're inside the car to get back on the throttle. And he just jumped on a little bit too early and carried his number 9 Camaro up and into the outside safer barrier, and just an innocent bystander there for Dwayne Vincent, putting us under caution for the 2nd time here tonight at Kentucky Speedway. This is race number 11 in the Kickass Beef Jerky Winter Series here in Sim500 Esports Racing League competition. You're watching it live on the Sim Racing Network, so glad you've tuned in. No matter where you're tuning in from, tonight's broadcast is part of SRN's Triple Threat Streaming. We're streaming live to our YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook all simultaneously. So wherever you're tuning in, be sure to give us a follow, subscribe, a like, etc. And we'll be sure to, you might get a shout out or two if you make a little noise in the chat as well. Leaders are down pit road, though. Don will see what kind of strategy calls are maybe made this time. I can guarantee you the 88's taking 4 this time. And
I guarantee you everybody's going to be taking 4 tires this time. I think we were on way too long of a run there for anybody to gamble with 2.
Yeah, sorry to walk over you there,
you're
Don,
good.
But Larry Pace slides through his pit box again, and look at just a plethora of positions. He's going to lose to that, and if it hadn't been for pit stop mistakes for the 00, he may still have the lead, but now he's going to be mired maybe outside the top 10.
Yeah, that's really too bad. That's the worst place to lose positions is on pit road. You can gain and lose so many positions on pit stops. It's such an easy place to, basically either make your race or ruin your race. It just depends on how it goes for you. And yeah, you can definitely see he's going to be, it looks like, just inside the top 10 when we get back to green.
Wow. How about that? And David Comstock, now he took 4 tires, Don. He will restart this race third.
Of course he will. Was there any surprise? We knew we were going to be talking about this guy, going to be up front here soon. Comstock's been on a tear since this race started. He started deep in the field without practice, without qualifying, and now we see after that pit stop, he is now up into 3rd place after starting 27th on the grid.
That's amazing. 24 cars he's passed so far, and he took 4 tires right there. Did everything everybody else did on pit road, just had a quicker stop and a better time getting on and off, or in and out of his box rather, under that round of pit stops. So how about that? Comstock up to 3rd. Not going to take anything away from Brandon Bowie. He's still going to be the leader of this race. Now he's got 4 fresh tires, so we're going to see how the 4 do versus the 2. And Trey Edson, he still sits there in the 2nd position. And we mentioned Comstock 3rd. Cohan up to 4th, just in front of Anthony DeBarro, who I think has been 5th this whole race.
Yeah, DeBarro and Cohan, they're teammates from Dizzy Motorsports. I guarantee you they're on TeamSpeak talking to each other, plotting, planning, all the different things. They're both in great position right now, 4th and 5th. Yeah, we got a lot of great competition up here that any of these guys really could take this. It's so early. Absolutely.
Still closing in on a halfway point, still a pretty good distance away from that halfway point, so we'll not gonna make any predictions quite yet. You mentioned it's still early on, but man, oh man, this race really starting to take shape. How about Larry Pace, though? Under that round of pit stops, Don, he falls to, looks like it'll be the 10th position.
Yeah, it's just, we've seen it before. We saw in the first round of pit stops, the 2 leaders kind of slid through their stops or stalls just a little bit. And now with that, he just lost a ton of positions, and we know how hard it is to pass. He's going to have to be kind of aggressive here with these new tires on this restart if he wants to be able to get back up there and contend for the lead.
Absolutely. So we'll see what Pace does on this restart. We'll see how the rest of the field snakes their way through turns 1 and 2 as well, as we're set to go back racing 2 by 2. Top 10 as they sit right now: Brendan Bowie, Trey Edson, Dave Comstock, Nicholas Cohan, Anthony DeBarro, Chad Coleman, Robert Gillenwater, Nelson Rivera, Timothy Johnson, and Larry Pace as we get set for what would be the 3rd restart of the night. Here we go. Field in control of, or Brandon Bowie in control of the field rather, as we're set for the restart. Pace car set to head to pit road. Still plenty of time left in this one. What are we going to see on this restart? We'll find out in just a couple of seconds. 2 by 2. Bowie's in the gas. We're back underway at Kentucky.
And Bowie, once again, got a fantastic start on there. Really got a great restart. Goes up to the high side so he can set up his line to get into turn 1 as they dive down into turn 1.
So a good run for Bowie down into 1. Edson comes out 2nd, 3rd to Comstock, 4th to Cohan. Chad Coleman going to be 5th as they work their way to the back straightaway, and Anthony DeBarro, probably the lowest he's been all night, in that 6th position. Then you have Rivera kind of muscling his way up to that 7th spot, and then Larry Pace and Robert Gillenwater kind of going at it for around the 10th position right here on the front stretch.
Yeah, you can see Larry Pace. It looked like he's trying to work that outside line, getting around him. Looks like he might be able to clear Gillenwater.
Sorry to cut you off there. Kelly put the bumper to Shane Ewing down in turn number 1. Got some damage to the front end of that number 2. I was just about to mention Mike Kelly. He started 23rd and has worked his way up to 14th. He was really working his way a little bit slower than Comstock through the field, but that damage not going to help him now.
No, that damage is definitely not going to help him. I'm looking at it now. His front end's pretty crumpled up right there in the grill. It might affect his temperatures later on, especially when he's tucked up behind another car like that. He's right on the bumper of the number 32 of Shane Ewing. And then you got the 39 that coming right up on him, too, though, of Jason Jacoby. He's wasting no time.
Yeah, Jacoby got Meyer back in the field when he came down to pit road to fix some damage.
Almost
and
doors
there's
him.
some contact there. A little door-to-door action here at Kentucky Speedway. Kelly
they're not
goes
done
up the
back
track. Yeah, they're going to go 3 wide for a brief moment. And boy, look at this gaggle of cars racing down into turn number 1, 2x2. Still looks like we're under pacing. And look at the 81 of the 81 of Cody Welch there. I thought he was going to go from the inside all the way to the outside. They're still side by side in this pack.
Yeah, that pack is going crazy right now. You can see Mike Kelly and Randy Yoakum side by side going into the corner. Behind them, those guys, they're almost 3 wide at some points. You can see these guys changing lanes back and forth, searching for grip. Randy Yoakum seems to get by Mike Kelly. I think he's kind of fallen back a little bit ever since he got that front end damage. Looked like he might be struggling a little bit, maybe some handling. But as I say that, he tries to dive his nose back down under the 8 of Randy Yoakum.
Crossover move for Kelly, but not going to be to any avail to the back straightaway. And boy, Michael Keaton stuck in a 3 wide situation there. Kelly going to pull it to the pits. He's going to call it a night, it looks like, after that damage. He's going to say it's pretty much going to be it. And there's a caution on the racetrack. It's going to be for the 33 machine. Tyler Young involved in his second caution of the evening.
Looked like Mike Kelly heads up there. He decided not to go down pit road. As soon as he saw that yellow come out, he said, you know what, I'm not committed yet. I can come back up on the track.
So we'll see what Kelly decides to do with that damage. It was Young getting, he got a bumper there from the 16 of Dwight Beverly. And that puts the 33 around for the second time tonight. He's just not having a lot of luck there.
No, he's definitely not.
Heads up driving by Bobby Wetzel, who came in a little quick on the pedal there, but everybody makes it through. Pretty much another single car incident there, putting us under caution for the 3rd time tonight live right here on the Sim Racing Network. Pits are open, and we've got some takers. We've got some that are going to try and stay out. We'll let you know what everybody does and who's on what strategy right after this. You're watching the Kickass Beef Jerky Winter Series on the Sim Racing Network.
All right, Watson, let's analyze the chemicals in this cigarette smoke. Cadmium?
Check.
Formaldehyde?
Check.
Arsenic?
Sir, isn't arsenic what they used in rat poison?
Yeah, isn't arsenic what they used in rat poison?
Oh, what was I thinking, sir? It's not like we're gonna smoke them.
Neither will the rats.
Tobacco is no joke. Cigarette smoke has over 7,000 chemicals. Learn more at thefactsnow.com.
My doctor calls me and says, Chris, I have the results of your scan. This is saying you have lung cancer. And that was probably the single most shocking thing anyone's ever told me in my life.
How can I have lung cancer? I'm 39. How can I have lung cancer? I do kick myself almost daily for ever starting smoking. I really do.
Quit your way. Visit tobaccofreeflorida.com.
Welcome back to Kentucky Live right here on the Sim Racing Network. We want to send a reminder, if you are on social media, whether it be Facebook or Twitter, to get social with us right here with the Sim Racing Network. Give us a like on Facebook. All you have to do is search the Sim Racing Network, and on Twitter, give us a follow at the SRN_. It's EJ O'Rourke going to lead us back to the green flag. He's choosing the outside line here, Don. No tires for the 41. And then from about 2nd through 8th, 2 tires, and everybody else on back on 4. So this is really jumbled up the field. We'll try and give you a rundown here as quick as we can. It's going to be O'Rourke, Bowie, and then Cohan, DeBarro, Comstock, Rivera, Pace, and the 28 of Johnston, and then Edson and Ewing. That's the top 10 as we're set for the restart here at Kentucky Motor Speedway. Pace car to pit road, 2x2 field. in the hands of O'Rourke. He's in the gas, and we are back underway, I should say, here at Kentucky. Good run for DeBarro down into turn number 1 as he's side by side with Brandon Bowie there in the 88. They're going to go side by side, and they run up on the 41 of O'Rourke real quick off to turn number 2.
They're definitely going to catch him in the corners. That's where all the grip is going to matter, and Anthony's got to watch out right here that he doesn't get into the back of DeBarro. Of O'Rourke, and these guys are he's almost like a pick for them. It looks like they're going to try to split him here.
Oh, 3 wide, maybe 4 if Cohan gets brave. 3 wide for the lead.
His nose in there.
Unbelievable. Bowie gets a little sideways down on the apron, and there's almost contact. Still 3 wide. Now they're side by side for the lead. How about a shake up there? Brandon Bowie, though, going to take the lead off of turn number 2, and now, for at least the time being, the top 3 are single file. Here comes Cohan looking to the bottom in that 21. He's not going to be able to do anything. Nelson Rivera in the 22. He's there as well. And David Comstock going to round out the top 5. How about that for a shake-up on a restart?
How about that for a restart? E.J. O'Rourke with no tires. All these guys with 2 tires. They just caught him so fast in the corners. They needed to get by. They saw the pack behind him. They split him, and wow, that was some great racing right there. You see E.J. O'Rourke still falling back. He's just hemorrhaging spots right now.
Absolute beautiful showcase of driving there by these drivers. As looks like DeBarro going to go up the racetrack, allow his teammate Cohan to get by, and boy, they're still 3 wide. Now they're 4 wide with E.J. O'Rourke in the mix.
Oh, they are getting really racy back there. Look at that back there. Those guys are 3 wide coming through the corner right here at Kentucky.
Unbelievable as Gillenwater in the 4. Look at Keaton going to slice the middle. Almost contact there. What great racing we're seeing with these guys. And for E.J. O'Rourke, I don't think it was the right decision to take no tires there.
Yeah, I don't think that was a good idea. And you can see Jason Jacoby right on the bumper of the number 4 right there of Robert Gillenwater. And we've seen Jacoby before. He's not afraid to use that bumper a little bit and use that door too. He's not afraid to rub some paint here with these guys.
Absolutely not. It'll be for the 11th position as both those drivers trying to make their way back into the top 10 after falling out after that restart. It's still going pretty heavy between Silver, and you have Donnie Leah there, Randy Yoakum, Michael Keaton, and E.J. O'Rourke still in the mix there too, as that snarling pack of cars races to the front straightaway. There's still 2 and 3 wide in this pack.
Yeah, E.J. O'Rourke kind of got to the high side there. I think he's finally lost some positions. I think he's finally with a pack that he might be able to race with those old tires. But, yeah, I don't think he'll be doing that again. I don't think he'll be taking no tires on a run like that again. He was just eaten alive by those guys that even had 2 tires.
Absolutely. So for the time being, he's going to be okay, at least for now. He may lose a couple more positions. We'll keep an eye on him over the course of this run. But, man, oh, man, things starting to kind of simmer down at the back of the field, or mid-pack there, I should say. And up front, man, Brandon Bowie, he is just a man on a mission with those 2 right side tires. He really likes the way the car feels just on those 2 rights.
You know, I'm thinking that maybe just taking the 2 right side tires, it might free the car up a little bit. He might not be, fighting that tight condition that some of these guys are a little bit later on. Maybe it's just, it's to his liking. He likes the way the car is run. He's been fantastic on these restarts, been doing a great job on the restarts, and now he's being able to hold off these guys. It looks like Cohan might be closing the distance a little bit, but Brandon Bowie has just been pacing this field pretty much all night.
Speaking of pacing, Larry Pace making a move on Comstock for what would be the 4th position pace. Just seems like a couple laps ago, Don, he was fighting for a spot inside the top 10 after some pit road mishaps, and now he's found himself back up into the top 5, and not only in the top 5, but looking to get back on the podium.
Yeah, he's looking for that podium spot there. He's trying to recover from that incident he had on pit road earlier, and we see Comstock on the high side right there. We've been talking about Comstock all night. Started from the back, and he's worked his way all the way up here, flirting with the top 5 here as he races with Larry Pace.
That he is. Boy, those guys getting really tight over in turn number 4. Some close quarter racing nonetheless, and Comstock's not giving it up. Comstock said, I drove all the way from 27th for this spot, and you're not going to get it that easy.
Yeah, he says, I passed too many cars to come up here. What's one more? You know, I don't have a problem with it. He's passed so many cars tonight and been so fast tonight. He's definitely been aggressive at times, but that's what he's had to be. You know, he's been clean too. So yeah, the car looks great so far, and he's put himself in a great position to be a contender, to be up front there at the end.
That he has as they continue to race side by side. A great battle going on here for that fourth position between Comstock and Larry Pace, two of the best in the business at saving their stuff and kind of being good on the long run, and they are really going at it for that spot. They're putting on a show. This is really not characteristic of either one of them. You know, it's either Pace would get in line or Comstock would let him by, but at this point of the race, nobody is giving an inch, and now there's almost contact between the two.
Almost contact. These guys are racing so close, and Comstock gets it now. Cuts the nose of the 00 and gets that position. He goes all the way down to the apron to get that position. It looked like he almost hit the wall coming back up. Just putting that car all over the place. But those guys were so close at one point. Looked like he couldn't even put a piece of paper between the cars.
That move by Comstock to the trial was one of those, I cleared you now, get off my butt at least for a lap or two. I'm tired of battling with you. And
that's what that is.
We're going to see what this shapes up to be over the next couple laps, because Pace, he is not giving up. Here he comes back to the inside of the 42. The 0042 going to continue to go at it. This is for the fourth spot here at Kentucky.
He's right to his door, going into the corner, almost side by side now, going into the corner. Comstock up high, Pace down low. Those guys have been battling here for the last, 4 or 5 laps, if not longer. I mean, these guys are just putting on a heck of a show right now for these positions. I mean, and the guys behind him, Trey Edson, look like he might be catching these guys a little bit since they're doing the side-by-side racing. So we might have a 3-car battle here.
These guys this has been one of the most intense battles all race long, and Pace, he is just not giving up on the inside. He wants the position. He wants it bad. And Comstock is just not giving up. Pace, a slight advantage over in 2. Can he clear him? He will. No. Yes. Finally clears the 42. And Comstock going to be right there on his bumper to let him know that he's still there if he makes a mistake.
He's been right there the whole time if he makes a mistake. These guys have been putting on a heck of a show, giving each other room, but also going right door to door, running clean. I mean, they haven't, gotten each other loose or anything yet, but definitely been a great race as Pace looks on the inside of Anthony DeBarro for that position.
Boy, Pace gets clear of Comstock and really sets sail, doesn't he? He's already up to the bumper of Anthony DeBarro. That'll be for the third spot here as Larry Pace trying to make his way back towards the front. Early leader here at Kentucky, and then under the first caution, he slid through his pit box, and he's been struggling to get back to the lead position all race long, and he's on the march now as he's to the inside, looking to get third away from the 27.
He's on the inside of the Dizzy Motorsports driver right there. Pushed up a little bit high. Had to get off the gas. Looked like he was going to get into the side of the Anthony DeBarro there, but got off the gas a little bit. It is a little pushy. We're getting on a little bit longer of a run here. These guys, the tires, they just came off a pit stop, but these tires do wear pretty quick as far as on that low side and trying to keep that grip. And you can see he's getting right on the bumper of Anthony DeBarro, almost bump drafting him there through the straightaway.
That's crazy. Remember, progressive banking here at Kentucky, so if you go a little bit lower, you're not going to be able to carry as much speed as the guy to the outside, and look at how tight they get. What great racing we're seeing here in the middle of this race, and it's really shaping up to be a dandy when we race it to the checkered flag as Pace and DeBarro going at it for the third spot, and then behind them, we've had a battle going on for quite some time between Rivera and Trey Edson. Boy, we have just got battling all inside the top 10 and the top 5. These guys putting on a show for us tonight here at the Sim Racing Network.
Oh, these guys are putting on a great show right here. Larry Pace and Anthony DeBarro. Looks like Larry's going to clear him. Anthony might try to do a little bit of crossover. No, he's going to tuck it in right behind him. Might be okay with it. Just going to, ride it out or whatever. But Larry Pace is definitely, hate to say it, but he's definitely setting the pace right now. He's working his way up to third place. Like you said, he was an early leader in this event. And right now he's got his eyes set on the 21 and Nicholas Gohan, the other Dizzy Motorsports driver.
And he does, as Pace continues to try and march his way back to the front. We're going to watch his march, but it'll be on corner-to-corner coverage. We'll take a quick commercial break. You won't miss anything. You'll be able to watch the race and get a word from our sponsors as well. You're watching race number 11. The chase has begun here in the Kickass Beef Jerky Winners Series. We'll be right back on the Sim Racing Network.
All right, Watson, let's analyze the chemicals in this cigarette smoke. Cadmium?
Check.
Formaldehyde?
Check.
Arsenic?
Sir, isn't arsenic what they used in rat poison?
Yeah, isn't arsenic what they used in rat poison?
Oh, what was I thinking, sir? It's not like we're gonna smoke them.
Neither will the rats.
Tobacco is no joke. Cigarette smoke has over 7,000 chemicals. Learn more at thefactsnow.com.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
My doctor calls me and says, Chris, I have the results of your scan. This is saying you have lung cancer. And that was probably the single most shocking thing anyone's ever told me in my life.
How can I have lung cancer? I'm 39. How can I have lung cancer? I do kick myself almost daily for ever starting smoking. I really do.
Quit your way. Visit tobaccofreeflorida.com.
Welcome back to Kentucky Speedway. You're watching the Kickass Beef Jerky Winter Series live right here on the Sim Racing Network. Founded in the early 1950s, Kickass Beef Snacks Incorporated has proudly been providing the Midwest United States with a variety of beef snacks. Currently found in 20 states, Kickass is continually expanding and heading nationwide. Get Kickass delivered to your door with free shipping available. Visit kickassbeefjerky.com. Kickass Beef Jerky, it's just that good. Just like Larry Pace is just that good as he looks to the inside of Nicholas Cohan. He's going to make quick work of the 21. That'll be for the second position, the runner-up spot. And he's already clear of him down in turn number 1. And he has got his sights set on the lead here at Kentucky.
He made short work of Nick Cohan there. It didn't take him long to get by him. Nick's still on his bumper there. He's not giving up, but you know, I mean, I really think Larry has been the fastest car tonight. He's been up front leading for a little while. He had that incident early on pit road, but he's more than made up for that as he's in second place right now, and he's got his sights set on Brandon Bowie right now.
That he does. Just past the halfway point here at Kentucky, and Larry Pace really starting to show his muscles as we've got to be also wondering, Don, over the next couple laps or so, we've been green for going on about 25, 30-ish laps. We got to be worrying about fuel here, I'd say, within the next 15, 20, and we're also going to see if anybody maybe throws a little bit of a strategy curve in there, maybe coming short pitting, or maybe somebody trying to push every last drop into the fuel tank. It's really going to get exciting as we head into the final stages of this race.
Yeah, it's been great racing so far up front. These guys have been battling hard. We've seen a lot of side-by-side action all the way out through the field. And, yeah, I mean, we're going to have to see. I mean, we might see some guys short pit. We might see some guys run it dry. You know, another caution can completely change that whatsoever as far as strategy goes. I don't think, since we've had such a long run, I don't think we're going to see anybody just take 2 tires, because these guys are going to need to get a lot of fuel. So it's probably better off just take 4. But I mean, you never know. We've seen some stranger things going on tonight. We've seen somebody not take tires at all. So you never know what might happen.
And another thing, once those green flag pit stops come, it's okay. It's one thing to have a mistake under caution, Don, because you're going to be bunched up on the restart, albeit a couple cars back from where you were. But under green, any tenth of a second could be, you know, a second and a half on a racetrack. So you have got to be clean in, clean out. That's not only coming on pit road, but in and out of your box as well. You can't slide the tires. You can't slide into the box. You can't be too far left, too far right. You've got to be perfect if you want to get out exactly where you came in.
Yeah, mistakes on pit road translate huge on the track, especially like you were saying under green flag. That's the best place to make up positions, but it's also the best place to lose positions. So these guys really have to nail it when they get on pit road.
So we'll be keeping an eye out for green flag pit stops. Great battle back here between Trey Ensign and Anthony DeBarro for the 4th spot. And I tell you what, Nelson Rivera, he has been glued, albeit with super glue, hot glue, whatever you want, whatever glue is the stickiest. Nelson Rivera has been stuck to that 10 car this whole run. Those two cannot get separated.
Yeah, he's been right on his bumper that whole time, just kind of following his line, maybe you know, just letting him lead the pace there. And they're definitely catching Anthony DeBarro. Look like DeBarro's running a little bit, maybe 1 lane higher in the corners than those 2 guys behind him are. Seems like the 10 and the 22 have been keeping it right on the line, while DeBarro's been up a little bit higher. So you see different lines going on here. You start to see how it works, but definitely looks like DeBarro is losing time to those guys, as Trey Edson is almost about to look to the inside of DeBarro there.
Been watching Edson the whole race, Don, and he's really one of the only drivers that can make that very far low yellow line work. Him and Rivera have been both doing it pretty much on both ends of the racetrack, and Edson, like I said, has really been about the only one that has been able to make anything work down there on the bottom.
Yeah, he's definitely making short work of Anthony DeBarro there. It looks like, as far, because like I said, right here is a perfect example. You can see Anthony DeBarro is basically running basically a low to middle kind of line, and Trey Edson's right there on that bottom line. And he's, you know, most of the guys we see, they push up the track, but he's able to arc it a good way where he can get a good run and get a good amount of momentum coming off the corners there. And I think that's what's helping him catch Anthony DeBarro. And I think it's just a matter of time before he gets past DeBarro.
Less banking down there for Edson as well. So not only is there less banking, that means he's got to slow the car up a little bit more. He goes, I was going to say he's going to go to the middle lane there, but he kind of arcs it off of turn number 2 there and kind of closes back up to the rear bumper of DeBarro. These guys still just going at it tooth and nail. This is for the 4th position. You see now Rivera to the inside of the 10. Some great battling going on middle of this pack, but up front it's Larry Pace and Brandon Bowie showing the field how it's done. Larry Pace doing everything he can to close up to the bumper of that 88 and try and regain his lead.
Yeah, he's working there slowly. I mean, you kind of see these guys look like they might be working different lines in the corners too. Can't really tell right now, but Larry Pace is definitely, right now they're like basically the exact same line going through that corner, but Larry Pace is definitely catching him. I think it's like with the other positions we were just talking about. I think it's just a matter of time before Larry Pace can get right up underneath Brandon Bowie.
All it takes is one mistake from Bowie, and Pace is going to be all over there, and he might just take that position pretty quick depending on the mistake. And we're not going to say Bowie's going to make a mistake, but if he does, Pace is right in the position to capitalize and make quick work of that 88 machine leading the field here at Kentucky Motor Speedway. You're watching the Kickass Beef Jerky Winter Series. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. 48 to go, coming to the line this time for Brandon Bowie, as he is trying to hold off one of the faster, or if not the fastest car on the racetrack right now, the 00 of Larry Pace. It's something about double numbers and top 5 for a good portion of these drivers. It's Larry Pace in the 00, Brandon Bowie in the 88, and Nelson Rivera back there in the 22 trying to crack his way inside the top 5, and he'll do just that with the pass he made on Trey Edson there. Now Edson going to cross him over down the back straightaway, so almost some contact there as he tried to fall back in the line. And how about Timothy Johnston there in the 28? Sort of a where did he come from, as he's kind of snuck up on this battle as well.
Yeah, he's worked his way up there too. Another Disney Motorsports driver. He's trying to get up here in the top 5, and yeah, we haven't really talked about him all night, and now we see him right up on Trey Edson, and he's definitely closing in on the bumper of the number 10 car in front of him.
So we watch Johnston. He'll be in a battle with Edson here over the next lap or so. That'll be for the 6th position. Edson, the Joe Gibbs Racing off-season Sim Series champion, going to be heading to Texas in the spring to a NASCAR race. And now he's headed to pit road sideways, and he's going to make it. How about that? Aaron, can we get a replay of how close he came to the cone? That was threading
incredible.
The needle. Threading the needle.
That was that was incredibly close. I've never seen anything like that. That was so close.
How about I think it was a last-minute decision for Edson there, coming off a 4, and boy, he almost didn't make it, but how about that? We get the replay. Look how close he comes to taking out the cone, and, you know, he missed the cone and got it down to pit road speed all in one. And, you know, we've seen some awesome moves, but I've got to give that the kick-ass move of the race right there.
That was incredible. He was drifting. He was drifting, just basically sliding, and came so close to hitting that cone. And like you said, not only that, didn't speed getting down pit road. That was just a phenomenal move. That was so great.
While that was going on, Larry Pace, Brandon Bowie, they're both down pit road. The 2 leaders have decided it's now a good time to make their pit stop. And look at this, Larry Pace is going to beat the 88 off of pit road by a good margin. Larry Pace, if everything goes well for him, he'll be in a prime position to regain the lead.
Yeah, he should be in a perfect position to regain the lead. Nick Cohan's the leader right now, but he has yet to make his pit stop. But yeah, Larry Pace has definitely been one of the fastest cars. Only mistake he's had all night is that first pit road incident, but he's definitely bounced back from that.
So pit stops now occurring, and we're really going to have to watch, that pit entrance and exit. Things can get squirrely down there in a heartbeat, as we've already seen with the 10 machine. And boy, that deserves to go on the iRacing highlight video of the month right there, if you ask me.
Yeah, definitely. That was some crazy good car control, and that was just a really good skilled driver, a little bit of luck, and yeah, he made that work for him.
So a exciting moment there. Pit stops underway here at Kentucky. So we'll step away for a brief moment. You won't miss anything. We'll go to corner-to-corner coverage so you can watch the race, as well as get a word from our sponsors. We're going to let everything cycle around, and when we come back, we'll try and update you with who is where and how they did on their pit stops. You're watching the Kickass Beef Jerky Winter Series live on the Sim Racing Network. We'll be back.
All right, Watson, let's analyze the chemicals in this cigarette smoke. Cadmium?
Check.
Formaldehyde?
Check.
Arsenic?
Sir, isn't arsenic what they used in rat poison?
Yeah, isn't arsenic what they use in rat poison?
Oh, what was I thinking, sir? It's not like we're gonna smoke them.
Neither will the rats.
Tobacco is no joke. Cigarette smoke has over 7,000 chemicals. Learn more at thefactsnow.com.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
My doctor calls me and says, Chris, I have the results of your scan. This is saying you have lung cancer. And that was probably the single most shocking thing anyone's ever told me in my life.
How can I have lung cancer? I'm 39. How can I have lung cancer? I do kick myself almost daily for ever starting smoking. I really do.
Quit your way. Visit tobaccofreeflorida.com.
Welcome back to Kentucky. It's Anthony DeBarro leading the field, but he has not yet headed to pit road, Don, and you can tell by the speed of everybody else around him that does have the fresh rubber. DeBarro just being eaten alive as he's going to get passed again there by Comstock. Now, this strategy is good if he catches a caution. If not, then he's going to come down and he's going to be, half a lap, if not more, behind the guys that are passing him right now on that new rubber.
And it's definitely a gamble being out there on older tires and being pretty much the slowest car right now, even though he's the leader. It's only a matter of time before these guys are going to gobble him up, and he's definitely going to have to pit. So, I will have to. He's just basically hoping for a caution here. Laps are closing down, so these guys might get a little racier. Might be a yellow, but that's an awful big gamble to make.
Certainly is. We've had some close calls under the while we were at the corner-to-corner coverage there, and DeBarro, boy, he did everything but hit the wall there off of turn number 4. I bet those tires are screaming on that number 27. Just 35 laps to go now here at Kentucky. We are in the final stage of this race, Don.
He almost became his own caution there, which is definitely not what he wants to see.
He wants a caution.
Yeah,
it's not for himself.
Exactly. He doesn't want to be the caution. He wants the caution. But, he's staying out there so far. We've got a few other guys that have been staying out there in a long run that are behind him that are kind of gambling also. So we'll have to see how this goes. It's a big gamble. We've had a few yellows, but we've had long green flag runs. So I don't know. I think it's too big of a gamble to take. I think he's going to lose way too much time with those old tires.
It's not like we haven't seen a strategy like this work before. We have. It's just tonight has been a sort of a different ball game, in lack of a better words, different race rather. Keep it in the same sport, Ben. We've had just a handful of cautions, but they've just been minor mistakes, and albeit all it does take is a minor mistake to cause a caution. But now everybody's sort of in their own rhythm. Everybody's racing their own race. I think most people are comfortable where they are. They're not going to really push the issue. I think we're good to go all the way till the end without a caution if everybody, just plays nice.
See, another thing we might see too is we might see, some guys take 2 tires if we do get a caution here, because we don't have a whole lot of racing left. DeBarro is going so slow right now. Basically, the 15th and 16th car just unlapped themselves, Tommy Ryan and Robert Gillenwater. So they made short work of the leader just getting their laps back right now. So he's, DeBarro, I don't think there's any question he doesn't have enough fuel to make it to the end, but he's definitely going to stretch this fuel run as long as he can possibly go.
Absolutely. We're on board with the 27 now, as you just have to, you're listening to how much he's off the throttle, and now he comes to pit road. Does DeBarro a pretty clean entry for the 27. Definitely not the excitement that we saw from Trey Edson's slide on the pit road. I wanted to shout safe after that, but I was too busy getting caught up in the replay there. But man, oh man, a spectacular moment there. DeBarro heads to pit road. That will surrender the lead, I do believe, to Shane Ewing in the number 13, or excuse me, in the 32. Started 12th in this race, has the lead right now, and he's yet to come down the pit road. He's not going to make it down the pit road this time. 3 cars to the inside of him, and now he's 3 wide for a brief moment on the front straightaway.
Yeah, Shane Ewing is he's 3 wide right now with those guys, and he's got the older tires. Oh, and there was contact made between Randy Yoakum and the 33 there, and I mean, we've already seen the 33 have lots of action tonight that he didn't want. Tyler Young has been beaten and banged around all over this track tonight.
Absolutely, and he's just adding more contact there and almost more contact down in 3 as these guys really shaking it up. And if I'm Mike Kelly, I don't want to put myself in the middle of this, but that's what he's going to do. To the bottom goes Mike Kelly, 3 wide through the tri-oval here. And, this is for technically about the 21st position.
Yeah, and Mike Kelly got right by him. He didn't want no part of that battle between the 8 and the 33, and Yoakum's been able to get by the 33 now, and he's kind of catching up to Kelly a little bit. Kelly's hoping that he doesn't get Yoakum there in the corner, so they're definitely having a great battle.
Some great battles indeed, and for the most part, keeping it clean there. That contact was just kind of a miscommunication, 3 wide. Things get tight, especially heading down into turn number 1 when everybody fighting for that outside line to get the big arc off of turn number 2. Shane Ewing still leads here at Kentucky, and boy, he is just praying for a caution right now. Doug Roth is the driver that sits 3rd. 4th is Michael Keaton, but he is being caught by Larry Pace, who sits Keaton is 3rd, Larry Pace sits 4th, and he is really starting to close in Michael Keaton. He's probably going to get by him within the next lap.
Well, he's got those fresh tires, and those guys in front don't. So, we've been talking about it. Those guys on old tires are just sitting ducks, and we're going to see Larry Pace is going to make quick work of Michael Keaton right here. He's going to pass him on the front stretch, go low, and pretty much go right on by him with no struggle whatsoever.
Absolutely. So there you have it. Larry Pace back into the top 3, doing it the hard way. All the way back around. Shane Ewing is now heading to pit road. So he is pretty much can't make it any longer into 32. I'll be interested to see what Doug Roth does. Roth will stay out another lap into 43, so he'll take the lead here on the front straightaway. Doug Roth now the leader, and he is the one praying for a caution.
Yeah, he's definitely looking for one. I'm sure he's going to be ducking on the pit road here soon, which is looking like it'll probably give Larry Pace the lead. And we talked about Larry Pace pretty much all night. He's been pretty much doing everything right. He had an incident early on pit road, but like I said, he's more than made up for it. And if everything goes his way, yep, Doug Roth is coming in pit road right now, which is going to give Larry Pace the lead again.
Larry Pace going to cycle through, and he is back to the lead for the driver of the 00. And boy, it's been a long time coming for that 00. He was in the lead early on, had a mistake on pit road, cost him the lead, and now he hits the green flag pit stops perfectly, and he is down and back into the lead position. Behind them, though, we have got a hell of a battle for second. They are 3 wide off turn 4.
Oh, yeah, and you see Michael Keaton coming into pit road now, too. He almost messed it up coming down pit road, but, yeah, we've had one heck of a battle, though. Those guys are going crazy right now. Nick Cohan and Brandon Bowie are just fighting it out for that spot, and we also see, looks like Trey Edson's going to be getting himself into that mix.
Yeah, Edson was the driver in front of these. He was, remember, the one that first came to pit road, so a little bit older tires on the 10 machine than everybody else. And he was kind of holding the 2 up behind him, and they said, that's enough. We got to get the move on. And look at Brendan Bowie down the front stretch, pushing the 21 all the way to turn number 1.
Yeah, he's right on his bumper going all the way into turn 1. And Nick Cohan's just trying to keep that car in front of him, trying to keep it clean, so he may be able to catch Larry Pace, but I don't think he's going to be able to get to him. But Cohan's right now holding off Brandon Bowie for that position.
3-second lead for Pace last time by at the line, so Cohan's really going to have to do some work here if he wants to reel in that 00. either he's going to have to do some work or hope for a caution. And boy, it's that moment of the race right now where if you're leading and you're Larry Pace, you're just saying, man, I've got a good run going. I don't have to push the thing. I could just sit here and ride if we don't have a caution.
The big if we don't have a caution. We've seen these guys battle that out even way back in the field, and 20, 21st, 22nd position. These guys are not afraid to go 3 wide for those positions, so anything could happen yet in this race. Nick Cohan would love to see a caution, I'm sure, so we can get this field bunched back up. And if we do get a yellow, you might even see some guys maybe gamble and go on pit road and take a couple of tires. So there's a whole lot that could go on in this race. It's not over yet. The laps are slowly winding down quickly, but hey, anything can happen in this race.
Far from over as we come to the line this time. It'll be 20 to go here at Kentucky Speedway. Larry Pace just needs 20 more clean circuits around the 1.5 miles here in the Bluegrass State, and he'll be the winner tonight. And just as I say that, Donnie Leah in trouble on the front straightaway. The 18 up and into the wall and slows the field for a brief moment. Everybody gets by. We stay clean and green, at least for now.
No yellow so far. Looks like we're gonna stay green, which I'm sure some guys are happy about that, and other guys are not too happy about that. I'm sure they would have loved to see it go yellow, but looks like Donnie Leah gathered it back up, and he's got it back going in the right direction.
Got some heavy right side damage to the 18 there, but nonetheless, still pointed in the right direction, which is the good thing. I bet one driver that would like a caution would be that 88 of Brandon Bowie. So good on the short runs and at the beginning of the runs. I shouldn't say short runs. He's been good all race long. But at the beginning of the runs on 2 tires, nonetheless, he has just been phenomenal. And I tell you what, a restart right now with that 88 up front within the top 3 or so, I think he'd be hard to beat.
Especially since he has been the king of restarts tonight. Every restart we've seen him have, he has just really gotten a great start, been able to get a good jump on the guys behind him. So I would bet that he would love to see a caution right about now. But going the other way, Larry Pace definitely would not want to see one.
Yeah, a lot of mixed emotions. Bowie might be one of those drivers that would be comfortable or fine finishing in third. Wouldn't want to risk it on a late race restart. And I'm kind of one of those drivers that's in the same position. If I'm sitting third and know that it's going to be a good points day, I'd be fine with finishing third right where I'm at. But, the other side of me also would like to get one more restart, a chance to get that win. Nick Cohan sits pretty good in the second position. He started 14th in this race and has passed 12 cars to make his way up to the P2 spot. David Comstock still back there in 5th, holding on to it over Nelson Rivera. 2 big movers there. Comstock from 27th, Rivera from 18th. So these 2 guys going to duke it out for that top 5 position. But nonetheless, great runs for everybody in the top 10 here tonight. And even the driver we was talking about just a couple laps ago, we said we didn't mention him all night. He started 7th, kind of fell back. It's Timothy Johnston as he sits 7th right now. Just a consistent run for the 28 of Johnston, and it looks like he'll finish inside the top 10, so that'll be a good run for the driver to number 28.
Oh, yeah, he'll be happy with that finish, and I guarantee it. He's another Dizzy Motorsports driver. He's going to be happy with this finish. He's had a pretty good run tonight, been very consistent, and pretty much, kept that car clean, hasn't been in any major troubles or anything, and had some great side-by-side racing with some of these guys.
15 laps to go, and if you haven't yet, be sure to share this video with your friends, a live stream with your friends and family. Let them know that this thing may get heated up as we close into the checkered flag. Tonight's broadcast part of SRN's Triple Threat streaming live to our YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch, and also live tonight on the iRacing Esports Network. So we want to thank everybody for tuning in across all of those platforms. Larry Pace has had a dominant car. He really didn't show it through the midway portion of this race. He got stuck in traffic, but now he's starting to work his way, or not work his way. He has worked his way back to the lead and starting to work his way towards victory here at Kentucky. Just a handful of laps left, though, separating him and the trophy.
Yeah, he's been. I mean, we say it. His last name is Pace, but he's definitely been setting the pace tonight. He's been the class of the field. Got no one around him really. Nick Cohan's way far back there. It would have to be something really drastic to happen for Nick Cohan to be able to catch him right now. And I mean, Larry's pretty much got this race in the bag. As long as nothing unfortunate happens with him or whatever. Like you said, any little thing can happen. Caution could come out, could bunch up this pack again, and anything can happen after that. So it's definitely not over yet, but Larry has definitely got this race well in hand so far.
Absolutely. I'm still watching this battle for fifth between Comstock and Rivera. Now they've got a lap machine of Wetzel with some fresher tires kind of throwing a little kink in their chain back here, but nonetheless a good battle there between Comstock and Rivera. And then talk about Donnie Leah back in ninth. He pounded the wall a little bit earlier. Looks like he's going to regroup and finish inside the top 10. Jason Jacoby had a bad break. He got the wall early as well. Almost gets it again there off turn number 4 in the 39. He was running, up in the top 3 for a good portion of the opening stage of this race, and now just finds himself holding on to that 10th place position. Robert Gillenwater, 11th. A great run for the driver of the number 4 as we kind of prepare for the last 10 laps of this one. And off of turn number 4, Larry Pace going to get 2 high fives at the flag stand. Just 10 circuits left here at Kentucky.
10 circuits left, and Larry is just waiting for that checkered flag. He wants to see it. He wants to see that white flag, really. Wants this thing to be in the bag for him pretty much, and he's just praying that we don't get a early yellow. But then again, or a late yellow, I mean. Then again, if we get one really close to the end, that would be the end of the race. No green-white checkered here, and overtime here in Sim and iRacing is what I was trying to say. So basically, I would say probably with 2 laps to go, if we get a yellow, it's probably over. 3 laps maybe?
Anywhere between 5 or 4.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay.
Yeah, really going to depend on where the caution would fly. But I'd say once we get to the 5 to go mark, he's feeling pretty comfortable. So that's about 3 laps away now. So we're closing in on it. Larry Pace now has started to pull away from Cohan. Cohan was reeling him in, but now Pace starting to pull back.
Somebody hitting the wall
ahead.
back there behind Cohan. I think a lap car looked like he bounced off the wall a little bit.
Everything that's happening on the racetrack, I bet you Pace is getting info. If a car gets into the wall side by side, he's sweating bullets right now. It's this moment of the race where you've got the thing in the bag, but you're just wondering what can go wrong from somebody else's point of view to cost you the race.
There's so many things out of your control when it comes to this. He's in the lead. He's done everything that he can do. He's done everything on his side that he can possibly do that's in his control to put himself in a position to win this race. Now he just needs to hope that everything works out his way, and he can't worry about things that are out of his control. He can't worry about the other drivers right now. He just needs to focus on getting to the end of this race.
Absolutely. Good battle between Tommy Ryan and Timothy Johnston. That's for the 7th position. Ryan going to get it off of turn number 2, at least for the time being. Good battle, brief battle there, and that battle between Rivera and Comstock. Oh, and there's a caution on the racetrack.
Caution on the track.
Oh, my goodness.
Like I said, anything can happen, and we will definitely get back to green here. We are not done yet, and this is not what Larry Pace wanted to see.
Donnie Leah gets up into the wall on a back straightaway off turn 2. A top 10 driver makes a mistake and just really couldn't catch the car, and that number 18 into the inside safer barrier, spins down into turn 3, puts us under the caution with under 10 to go. And how about that for the drama in your novel?
We were talking about it. Anything can happen. We were talking about a possibility of a caution, a late caution for Larry Pace, the leader. Now, are we going to see guys possibly come down pit road, maybe further back in the field and take some new tires? We saw how important new tires were before with EJ O'Rourke.
There's been some staying out. We'll let you know as
Larry's in.
As we can. Larry is in. Nick Silver, though, He's a lap down, so we'll scratch him. Anthony DeBarro.
Trey Edson stayed out.
Stays out, yeah. Edson stays out. So there's 2 right there. Shane Ewing. Remember, he was one of those drivers that stayed out quite a bit, so he's got fresher tires. They're not fresh by any means, but there's 3 drivers right there staying out, and Cohan gonna win the race off pit road, followed by Tommy Ryan and Larry Pace.
It looks like Nick Cohan took 2 tires, we're hearing.
Yeah, Cohan going to take 2, but how about heartbreak for the driver of the 00? He had this thing in the bag.
He definitely did. This was his race to lose, and just something out of his control, nothing he did wrong. And, yeah, I mean, what can you do here when a late race caution comes? It's one of those kind of things, especially when you're a leader. Do you pit? Do you stay out? Because you don't know what the guys behind you are going to do. If they stay out and you pitted, then you lost that position. If it's vice versa, it's just nothing you can really do. You're just in a really bad position as the leader when a late race caution comes out here at a place like this.
Well, if you're viewing out there and you haven't popped your popcorn, I hate to tell you, it's a little bit too late. We've only got about 2 laps until we go back green. If you pop it in there real quick, maybe half the kernels will get popped. That's all you're going to need, though. It's going to be a shootout to the finish here with 3 drivers on, 30, 40 lap old tires out in front of this thing. I'm looking at Nick Cohan here in the 21.
Me too.
On the outside of the second row. He is going to be in prime position to get a good run down into turn number 1 and possibly take the lead by the time they get back to turn 3 and 4 on the next lap.
Well, he's got one of his teammates up front that's on old tires up there, Anthony DeBarro. The other 2 guys, Trey and Shane, they're both on old tires too. And basically it's just a matter of Nick's going to be faster. We know that, but it's just a matter of him negotiating these 3 cars to be able to get by him and having enough time to do so with these closing laps. We're only going to have a couple laps, I think, when they go back green.
It looks like it'll be an actual green-white checkered. Only 1 attempt at overtime. We don't have any extra green-white checkers here on the iRacing service just quite yet. Hopefully that'll be a new feature soon. Lights should go off atop the iRacing.com Ford Mustang pace car this time by, which will set us up for a green-white checkered here at Kentucky Speedway. And Don, you asked us when you came on board here at the Sim Racing Network why we have 5-point harnesses on our broadcast seats. This moment right here is why.
Well, I just don't understand why you need these big seats, because you pretty much just need the edge, because this race is incredible today. It's been such a fantastic race. We got such drama going on. We got these 3 cars on old tires. Nick Cohan on 2 tires starting the outside in 4th place. We're only going to have 1 lap to sort it out here. Green-white checkered here for the Kickass Beef Jerky Winter Series race at Kentucky. This is going to be one hell of a finish here.
It's going to be a heck of a finish for sure, and boy, it's really anybody's game. They could be 5 wide heading down into turn number 1. The next flag is going to end the race, whether it be the caution or the checkered. Once we get this restart here and buckle up at home, it's about to get wild. A 2-lap shootout, a green-white checkered to settle this one. We've had green flag runs aplenty. It doesn't matter who was good on the green flag run. It doesn't matter that Larry Pace had it in the bag, because now he's got to pass 5 cars in front of him. We'll see who's going to come out in 1 lap. We're going to see who's going to come out as a winner here at Kentucky. Pace car to pit road. Front row is on old tires. The green flag is back in the air. 2 laps to go at Kentucky.
A lot of tire spin. Tons of tire spin from the 10 and the 27. You can see both those guys, as soon as the green flag dropped, those guys are wiggling those cars back and forth, searching for grip. And Nick Cohan, I don't know, he's coming right up on him.
Oh, here comes Cohan around the 27, around the 10. They're 5 wide behind him. Look at the madness.
Look at
down
Larry
into
Pace
turn number 3.
Larry Pace on the outside, coming to the inside in 3rd place, looking to the inside of the 10. He's getting 2nd now. Where did he come from?
I have no idea where he come from. I have no idea how they haven't crashed. Now they're crashing at the start-finish line. The white flag is out, though. We're going to race it back to the checkered Here at Kentucky, Cohan's got too big of a lead, I think, for Pace to have anything to do with him. But here comes Pace. He's got to run down into turn number 3. He's got to make up 5 car lengths. Don't think he can get there in time. Pace was in the bag to win this thing. A late race caution, though, and a green-white checker sets it up perfectly for the driver with the target on his car. How about that? Nick Cohan, winner at Kentucky.
What a finish there. What a heartbreaker for Larry Pace, but he still gets the second place finish. Nick Cohan on those 2 tires, getting by those other cars with the old tires, those 3 cars with the old tires in front, just splits it for the win. What a great race for these guys.
My goodness, what a show. Nick Cohan, some unbelievable driving off turn 2 there. Outside of the 27, inside of the 10. Larry Pace, I'm sure he was on top of a 4-wide situation there at one point. Cohan going to get some congratulatory bumps, and now he's going to head to the front straightaway, and this is a well-deserved celebration burnout here for Nick Cohan. We'll watch him do this on corner-to-corner coverage. We'll be back with podium interviews after a wild one here at Kentucky.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
My doctor calls me and says, Chris, I have the results of your scan. This is saying you have lung cancer. And that was probably the single most shocking thing anyone's ever told me in my life.
How can I have lung cancer? I'm 39. How can I have lung cancer? I do kick myself almost daily for ever starting smoking. I really do.
Quit your way. Visit tobaccofreeflorida.com.
All right, Watson, let's analyze the chemicals in this cigarette smoke. Cadmium?
Check.
Formaldehyde?
Check.
Arsenic?
Sir, isn't arsenic what they used in rat poison?
Yeah, isn't arsenic what they use in rat poison?
Oh, what was I thinking, sir? It's not like we're gonna smoke them.
Neither will the rats.
Tobacco is no joke. Cigarette smoke has over 7,000 chemicals. Learn more at thefactsnow.com.
Welcome back to Kentucky Speedway, and we're going to jump right into podium interviews, and I've caught up with the driver of the 88. We talked to him on the grid there. He said top 5 would be good enough for him, and that's what he got tonight. He finishes 3rd in the first race of the chase. Brandon, wow, that final restart, hectic, crazy, wild, whatever you want to call it. How did you get 3rd place out of all that madness?
Honestly, I don't even know. I'm still trying to go back and retake everything in my head of what exactly just happened. Wow. It was crazy. But shout out to the guys who, even though they stayed out on old tires, they did what they had to do, and they they figured, possibility of a quicker caution, maybe I can steal a win. So it was a crazy call, but it would have been a crazy if they won like that. But shout out to them. Shout out to everybody that raced tonight. I mean, it was a lot of fun, a lot of different strategies. I can't even I'm still trying to process that last restart. But crazy night though.
Sound like us at a loss for words. Let's talk about, the middle part of the race or the beginning part of the race. There was one point, I think it was the first caution, where you took 2 tires and we did everything but throw you under the bus. And we said it's not going to work for him. He's going to drop like a rock. And then you go out and prove us wrong, and you lead almost from that point up until Larry Pace beats you on the pit stops there under green. Talk about how your car felt on the 2 tires versus the 4.
Oh man, 2 tires felt amazing. I prefer cars that are a little bit on the freer side, and with the way how it kind of started out, the setup was a little on the tighter side. So I kind of figured I need to try something. Just running the same thing, 4 tires, full tank is just not going to cut it. So I figured I'd try 2, and I was a little nervous at first, but after about a lap or 2, this thing came alive, and I led a lot of laps. And then I don't know what else I could have done on getting on pit road. I tried to kind of psych out Larry Page there, trying to pit or undercut him. That didn't work. He saw me do it. So um, the main point of this race today was just for me to finish in the top 5, which is what I did. So I've done my goal, and we're going to go to next week. I believe it's Indy, and we're going to try to get a top 5 there too.
There you have it. Perfect way to start the chase, or an almost perfect way, I should say. Perfect would be winning, but we're going to go for that next week. Brandon, who do you want to thank for putting you on the podium here at Kentucky?
Yeah, got to thank racingbids.com, great sponsor. Check them out on facebook.com. They have their live auctions at 7 o'clock on Thursdays. They just built a brand new website as well. Check them out. I got to thank Commodore's Garage. They've been with me since the very beginning. They helped me build setups, but not only that, just helped me with the understanding of telemetry, track changes, and stuff like that. So check them out, Commodore's Garage, also on Facebook. Got to thank you guys for broadcasting. Got to thank Kickass Beef Jerky for sponsoring the race. I got to thank my family, as always, and the man above.
There you have it. Brandon Bowie, 3rd place finisher here tonight at Kentucky Motor Speedway. And I'll turn over to the driver who, boy, I don't know what kind of emotion he is feeling this evening. Had it wrapped up, sealed, had the checkered flag, the trophy, the plaque on the trophy already had his name on it. And then we have that last caution of the race. Larry Pace, walk us through what went through your mind when the spotter came on and said, caution.
Just a lot of screaming inside my head. I was just watching the laps for the last 30, really. I know these things, just notoriously have not gone green to the end. And I was just like, come on, give me to 5 to go. That's all I need. 5 to go, the race will be over. I can live with that. But we got to about 7 to go, I think. And then it, of course, happened. But it is what it is. Trying to just be happy with the 2nd place finish here. It was a good points night. It's going to be a really, really tough chase. So I can take 2nd and move on to Indy.
Absolutely. A great night nonetheless. You led a handful of laps. I do believe you led the most laps, if I'm not mistaken, tonight. And, 2nd place, nothing to be mad about, although you were just 1 spot short of, where a lot of people think you should have ended up. But that last race caution got you. Talk about that last restart, though. You made some really wild moves to get yourself into position to finish runner-up.
Yeah, I was definitely pretty lucky to line up on the outside. I knew the guys that stayed out were going to be off pace, and I was just hoping that nobody slid up into me. I overreacted a little bit when we got about 3 wide, I think, and the 99 shot up the track just a bit. Cost me a little bit of time, but luckily I was able to clear most of them in 1 and 2. And had to dive under Trey Edson, I believe, at the end to get by him for 2nd, and then it was on. Nicholas Cohen just did such an incredible job on 2 tires. He got everything he could out of it to keep that lead.
As he did. And Larry Pace, as we get set to head to Indianapolis, not next week, but the week after, feeling comfortable about Indy?
Oh, not at all. I knew this was my best chance to win, so I was really hoping to do it. Indy is not a great track for me, but I'm going to be drilling it a bit to get a little bit better. And everybody in this chase is so good. It's going to be really tough. It's really anybody's championship still. I think everybody in the chase had a pretty good run tonight.
I love a good, honest driver. You know, most drivers would have said, it's an okay track. You just straight out said, nope, not good for me. Who do you want to thank, though, for your runner-up spot here tonight at Kentucky?
Everybody at Sim500, Kickass Beef Jerky, of course, for putting this on. This has been a very fun season. Everybody at the drill aisle and 3 unit. My sister Lara, I know she was out there watching the race tonight. And of course, you guys. I heard from my sister it was a really good broadcast, so good job.
It was a fun broadcast as well, Larry. Thanks for chatting with us, and we look forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks.
We will see you at Indy.
There you go. Larry Pace finishing runner-up, and we kind of did things a little backwards tonight because Don, good friends with the driver who he is now caught up with down in Old School Graphics and Designs Victory Lane. What does Nick Cohan have to say about that wild last restart there, Don?
That's right, Ben. I'm down here in Victory Lane with Dizzy Motorsports' own Nick Cohan. You know, it's really cool about doing this gig is I know a lot of these guys that race here. I'm friends with a lot of these guys, but, you know, I'm really good friends with Nick, and to see him win this race, it was really awesome. And I'm really glad I get to interview him for this one. Nick, you had a fantastic finish there. It was so awesome. I mean, Larry, just bad luck with that late caution. Good luck for you. Those 2 tires, you're able to fight through those 3 guys ahead of you that had old tires. I mean, you were splitting them, bobbing and weaving. Man, tell me about that last restart and what you were thinking when that caution came out, that last caution came out.
Quite honestly, when that caution came out, I was not happy because I was, after what I went through that race there and that last run, I was so frustrated that I couldn't. I had a slow pit stop. I didn't come off a pit road good. Nothing worked good. That last run. So I was happy with just finishing second. I was like, just get out of here. And the caution came out. I'm like, oh my god, this is gonna be a disaster. And I knew if I stayed out, I was just gonna get run over because that was 40 laps. So I had to come down and get tires. I took 2 tires just because I wanted to be the first car on new tires, and for good reason, because that seemed to be the call there. If I would have taken 4, first off, I slid through my box like I normally do, and so I would have been back 3-4 cars there, and it would have been that would have been all Larry there. I feel bad because Larry was really good there in the long runs, and he had that race won. And I just got really lucky with those 2 tires on 40 lap old left sides. They still hooked up pretty good, and I think one more lap Larry would have got me because I was sliding all over the place. So what a range of emotions tonight. I was mad for 95% of that race. So to win this one like this, we'll take him. But what a wild last couple laps.
Yeah, it's definitely going to set you up for a good points night tonight going into the championship. In a couple weeks, you head over to Indianapolis for the next race. How you feel about your chances there at the Brickyard?
Yeah, one of the main goals for tonight was try and make sure I was inside at least the top 5 for the halfway. And because I knew how hard it was to pass here, so I wanted to try and get up there by halfway, and paid off big time. I got second, so that helped a ton. And then, you know, if I would have finished second tonight, I would have been happy with that too. It still would have been a good points, and I think I would still have the points lead. So overall, that was, you know, a huge goal was the halfway, and because Indy's one of my favorite tracks, so I'm really looking forward to that. It's just been it's one of my favorite tracks, but I have a lot of bad luck there. So hopefully I don't have any issues next week. But Indy's a really good track for this Dizzy Motorsports Camry.
Well, so anybody you want to thank out there? Anybody that maybe you didn't mention already? Any sponsors or teammates or anybody that you want to give a shout out to?
Shout out to Target CG Automotive for being on the car. Kickass for sponsoring this series. Sim500. All my teammates at Dizzy Motorsports tonight. It's a shame they got taken out on the last lap there. And all my teammates at PMS, including you.
Thanks, man. You had a great run tonight, man. Hey, man, that's a great run for you tonight, brother. I really happy to see you in victory lane there, Nick.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
And that's Nick Cohan, driver of the 21 car, winner tonight at Kentucky.
Thanks, Don, and great interview there with a great friend of yours, and man, just a great race overall. indeed. And
Wasn't it?
just, man, I'm like most of these guys coming in here, they don't know what to say. We don't know what to say.
No, yeah, we were just
all
as
in shock.
dumbfounded. Yeah, we were. We were just as much as shocked as you guys were with that late caution, and then watching that race there with those guys on old tires and new tires. I mean, that was just fantastic racing.
What a great race, though. We had everything from, a couple early cautions to kind of shake the field up with some pit strategy, and then the long green flag run in the middle of the race with green flag pit stops, and then, it wouldn't be a night race without a shootout to the finish, and that's exactly what we had there with the green-white checkered. A spectacular show as we take a look at the final finishing results. Nick Cohan with the victory here tonight. Larry Pace comes home second. Third to Brandon Bowie. Fourth, David Comstock. Fifth, Tommy Ryan. Nelson Rivera, Scott Simley, Chad Coleman, Robert Gillenwater, and Mike Kelly round out the top 10. And the rest of the field going to scroll across your screen there. Some notables. Chad Cole, didn't mention him much of the night. He started 28th and made his way up to 11th. Dwight Beverly, 31st to 12th. Trey Edson, who was up in the top 5 a good portion, stayed out there and kind of bit him in the butt as he fell back in 2 weeks. And then the championship race at Michigan, and both of those are going to be a blast as well. Don, I had fun. I think this is the first race I've called with you, so I had fun in the booth with you tonight. And, man, I'm really looking forward to finishing this chase off and seeing who's going to walk out of the Winter Series with a championship.
Yeah, me too. It's going to be a great race. Like Larry was saying, these guys that are in the top points here that are running for this championship are all phenomenal drivers. It's going to be great show here at Indy in a couple weeks. And I appreciate you inviting me up in the booth here, and I had a blast. This was a very fun race to call with you, Ben.
Certainly was indeed. So on that note, we thank everybody for tuning in live right here on the Sim Racing Network. Remember, wherever you are, on whatever platform you're watching, be sure to subscribe, follow, give us a like, etc. You can find us on Facebook by searching the Sim Racing Network. Subscribe to us on YouTube and hit that notification button so you can be notified whenever we go live. Give us a follow on Twitter or on Twitch as well, and on Twitter. Just search at the SRN_. But just a spectacular night here tonight from Kentucky. Don, any final thoughts as we head out of the cookie cutter D-shaped oval here at Kentucky onto a super speedway over at Indianapolis, 2.5 miles with the very unique 4 turns?
Well, Nick Cohan said it was one of his favorite tracks. I think the other guys need to be worried about that. Anytime Nick gets to a track that's his favorite, it's a bad thing. So, but then again, Larry and all these other guys, I mean, they were just setting such a great pace tonight, such a great race, and a lot of guys came from far in the field and finished up front there. And I mean, it was just such an action-packed race tonight. I look forward to Indianapolis. Going to have a lot of drafting with those long straightaways, and it should be a great show for the Kickass Beef Jerky Winter Series.
It's going to be a fun one. Remember, we're off in the Winter Series next Wednesday. That's because Sim500 and the Sim Racing Network's Hometown Hero Series taking place next Tuesday and Wednesday. The Winter Meltdown just around the corner. And to find out more information on that event, paying out over $800 in cash and prizes, you can head to the simracingnetwork.com/meltdown and be sure to register today. So for John Mushton, Aaron Grosskopf, I am Ben Kilcrease. That's going to do it for us here at the Sim Racing Network from Kentucky.
It's Don. My name's not John.
Wow, Don Runkle. My goodness.
Yeah.
I get in such a rhythm. Let's
okay.
try that again. So for Don Runkle, Aaron Grosskopf, I am Ben Kilcrease. A little bit better that time. We'll see you next time right here on the Sim Racing Network. Remember when you're out there on the roads to put that phone down. Good night from the Bluegrass State.